If you need unlimited domination, clutch time, or anything else grinded, make sure you hit up Rose NBA on Twitter for quick, safe, and reliable grinding services. Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're ranking the best centers in NBA 2K23 MyTEAM here on a tier list. But before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 8,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day. I would really appreciate your support if you haven't already, if you do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. Let's start off with the first player on this list, which is going to be Mr. Al Horford, who I do think is pretty darn solid in my team. I will say the center position, in terms of depth, doesn't have as many top-end centers as some of the other positions do, but there are still plenty of good cards at the center position, and Al Horford's a great example. He's got acceptable size, not amazing. He's a little slow, but he's a very good all-around defender, good shooter with a smooth release, decent dunker, good HOF badges, overall good badges in general, like can get quick first step and slippery off ball added to him as well. He's just a very complete, very solid all around card with a pretty decent release. Like, he does a lot of things very solidly on the basketball court for a center. I think he's pretty darn good. A tiny bit undersized, only 6'10", but I do think he's still probably a top 10 center on this tier of these players. So I think he does deserve a spot in the S tier. I'm sorry, in the A tier. I don't think I can put Alonzo in the S tier either. I do think Alonzo Mourning is pretty darn solid. I will say that, and also deserves an A tier spot. Honestly, a pretty similar card to Al Horford, not quite as athletic, I will say, or I'm sorry, a little more athletic, having that 85 speed and excel, but another guy who's a good defender, not as good of a shooter, but he's a solid interior player, or actually a very good interior player on both ends of the court, good rebounder. Release is not elite, but it's not bad. It looks bad. You would think Shaquille O'Neal base with a default big upper would be bad, but it's really not. It's just not great. But overall, I mean, his release, it's questionable, but as a trophy case player, he can get any badge. He's just a very solid all-around card. Alonzo Mourning also deserves an A-tier spot. I'm putting Arvydas Sabonis in B tier. He's just really slow, and his release isn't very good. He does a lot of things pretty solidly on the court, especially being 7'3" with a massive player build. Super wide player build, very strong. Really good interior defender, interior offensive player, rebounder. But he is just very slow, as well as the fact that I don't love his release. So I'm not crazy high on the card, but I do think he's solid, and I still think probably a B tier type of guy. Chris Bosh also probably goes around the B tier. You could maybe say he's a little bit lower. I'm not entirely sure. I may wind up moving a couple of these guys slightly down because Bosh, like, he's only 6'11", so he's got acceptable size, but he's not an incredible interior defender. He's kind of slow. He's got an absolutely money release, one of the best releases, if not the best release of any player on this list, which I really do like a lot about him. He's an absolutely knockdown shooter, but he's not an elite defender. Like I said, he's kind of slow, and that kind of does hurt him, despite the fact that he is such a good pick and pop jump shooter. DeAndre Jordan is an easy D tier. He can't shoot. He's not fast. He doesn't do a ton of things very well. He's just a true inside, except he's not crazy athletic either. Yeah, I think D tier is totally fair. Same thing with Dikembe Mutombo. Got a lot of HOF defensive badges, but again, slow inside, can't shoot whatsoever. Horrible release anyway. Definitely not a good card in the D tier. Dwight is going to be our first S tier of the video, though. Dwight, I think, does deserve a spot in the S tier. He's got a solid release this year. It's better than his release has been the last couple of years. Incredible stats and badges all the way around. Can shoot the three as a glitched three-point shooting center. I mean, he is just very good. He's one of the best power forwards in the game, and also one of the best centers in the game. Really elite at both positions. I think he's an absolute dog. An easy S tier player. In addition to Hakeem Olajuwon, who's also an easy S tier. Another guy with a pretty solid release. Glitched shooting big man. He's got more size than Dwight. He's also a very good interior defender. He's not quite as athletic in terms of speed and dunking as Dwight, but he is a very good card with great size, the center position, a great player built, elite rebounder, always an elite inside player, just an absolute beast at that center position. Now, unfortunately, Zubac is going to be our third D tier player of the video, and we might have several D tiers in today's video. But look at this card. I understand he's a free Pink Diamond Moments card, but there's a reason I didn't do gameplay with this Zubac card yesterday when he came out. It's because he has 65 speed and excel, can't shoot the three, not an incredible defender. I mean, he's good on the interior, but like, this card sucks, unfortunately. And I do love Moments cards. I want them to continue to drop Moments cards, but this Zubac card is just not good. He's an easy D tier, probably the worst Pink Diamond center in the game. I'm tempted to put Jared Allen in the A tier. I don't know if that's a crazy statement, but I think I'm going to do it. I like Jared Allen better than almost all of these cards, actually, that are left on this list. He's a guy with a good release at center position. He can shoot the ball. He's got good size, an amazing player build, really good interior defender, very athletic, very good release, like I said, for a big. I just think he's really good. I think he's the best budget big, well, second best budget big at this point in the game, but I think he's a really solid card, and I think he does deserve an A tier spot. I'm going to put gonna move Chris Bosh and Arvydas Sabonis down to C tier simply because I hate Arvydas' release, and I don't think Bosh plays very much defense. In addition, Arvydas being very slow, but I am gonna put Embiid in the B tier. Little odd looking release, but it is smooth and easy enough to green. It is pretty quick. He's a capable defender, not the best defensive card in the world, but definitely pretty solid. He's got good size at center. He's just a very solid all-around card, a free pink diamond moments card, just like Zubac, except he's a much better version. And yeah, he's, I think, a B tier type of guy. Kareem, I still believe, is the best center in the game currently. He can shoot a wide open three, especially with a shoot and catch and shoot claymore, slippery apple badges like that added to him. Even with only a 60 base three, he's going to knock him down consistently, especially on online versus. One of the best interior players in the game on both ends of the court. Very, very fast for a center. He's 7'2" with an amazing player build. There's just nothing he doesn't do at a high level. He's an elite tier card, and he's an obvious S tier for me. Karl-Anthony Towns goes C tier. Very mediocre defender, decent athlete, can shoot the ball, can stretch the floor. He's very similar, I feel like, to Bosh. Probably a little bit quicker than Bosh. Not quite as good of a defender on the interior as Bosh, but I think C tier is pretty fair for him. I'm going to put McHale in the A tier. I think the A tier is fair for McHale. He is only 6'10", but or maybe he's 6'11", but he's got a 7'11" wingspan, which is absolutely incredible. Really, really good defender. Half interceptor with that wingspan is so nice. He is a very, very good card, and I think he's a pretty easy A tier. And then I'm actually going to put Kristaps Porzingis in S tier. I think people are going to disagree with that, but I don't really care. I think he deserves an S tier spot. I know he's only a diamond, but he's 7'3", and unlike the other 7'3" centers like Zydrunas Ilgauskas and Arvydas Sabonis, he's got 70-something speed instead of having 45 speed. He also has an elite release, pick and pop for a big, and his height really helps make up for the fact he doesn't have the anchor badge. He doesn't have the interior ability of some of these other centers. Being 7'3" with the player build he has really helps him out a lot on the defensive end of the court. He is so versatile, so good, best pick and pop big in the game, but also has incredible size, which really helps him out on the defensive end of the court, and decent athleticism. So KP's an absolute dog, an easy S tier for me. The only reason Dwight isn't going in the D... No, Dwight's going D tier. I know he's 7'6", but he has 25 speed and he can't shoot the ball. Like, what else do you need to say? 25 speed, can't shoot the ball. I don't care that he's 7'6". He's going to get ran off the court. There's a reason you don't see people using Yao right now. I know later in the year, everybody will be using Yao, but for now, it's not his time. This Diamond Yao is not a good card. Jokic is going to go low C tier. I would say he's probably the worst card in C tier, but I struggle to put him higher than C, lower than C, simply because I do think he's better than all these guys in D tier, because at least he can shoot the ball. That's the thing he has going for him that all these other guys can't. He's not a good defender. He's a little bit undersized. He's just not a great card, but he is acceptable enough that I still think he does not deserve to be in the D tier. I'm actually going to put Vucevic in the B tier. I think that's probably fair. He's not as good as Jared Allen, but I think he's honestly pretty solid. A guy who can shoot the three. He's a very solid defender, especially with his glitched ability being defense. This Vucevic card's actually pretty good. He's got acceptable, I mean, not good speed, but not completely horrendous. And like I said, I mean, Hoff Anchor's a great badge, a lot of good gold defensive badges, even silver and bronze ones. Playmaking badges, he can get quick for step. He's got good shooting badges, silver limitless range, a decent release, decent interior badges. He's a pretty solid card. He's not great, but he's not horrible, and I think B tier is pretty fair. Patrick Ewing is very slow, and he has a pretty bad release, but he is still an opal at the center position with a lot of amazing Hall of Fame badges, the ability to get every badge upgraded. But yes, he is kind of slow, not an incredible shooter, but and I don't love his release either, but you can give him every shooting badge. He's got incredible defensive badges. He's a very versatile card still think he does deserve a spot in the B tier, even though I don't love the card. Then our final D tier of the video is definitely going to be Rudy Gobert. Card stinks. I mean, I don't think I need to say much more than that. Another inside center who can't shoot, isn't fast, not a good card. We're going to put Wilt in the C tier and Big Z in the B tier to finish off this video. Wilt is one of the best insides in the game, one of the only insides that I think you can actually kind of capably run because of the fact that he is as strong as he is, has as good player build as he does, has that 8-foot wingspan, and is also quick and a very versatile defender. He's easily better than all the guys in D tier. I would honestly take him over Chris Bosh and Jokic probably as well at center position at this point in the game, but he is still an inside who can't shoot, so it's very hard for me to put a guy who can't shoot at all higher than C tier. And then Zydrunas goes B tier. I just think he's a better Arvydas, also very slow, but he's got off anchor, which Arvydas does not have. He's got a better release than Arvydas. I think he's the better of the 7'3" giants, and I think he is the last B tier guy on this list. So this is my ranking currently of the best centers in the game on this tier list. Let me know what you think of my ranking. Also, what you would potentially change, whether I ranked guys too high, too low, or left somebody off the list entirely that you'd like to know my thoughts on. But if you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.